I am a simple man. I love Zendaya, I love drama, and I love threesomes. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel where we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. My name is Maz Gutierrez. Thank you for joining me today. Challengers was one of those movies that I was really interested in, mostly because you have Zendaya in a threesome, and that was just enough for me to get into this movie because I am not the biggest fan of sports. I don't like watching sports, but I do love sports movies, especially some that are based on a true story because you just want to root for the underdog, seeing them overcome challenges and rise up to chase their dreams. Those are really the inspirational stories that I really love getting into. Throw that out the window because that's not what this movie is about. This is basically a love triangle between Tasha Donaldson, played by Zendaya, Art Donaldson, played by Mike Feist. I do apologize if I butchered the name, and Patrick Swayze, played by Josh O'Connor. And you have them fighting for the love and affection of Zendaya because who wouldn't want to fight for Zendaya's love and affection? But starting off with the positives for this movie, I really love the chemistry between the three leads in this movie. Not only do you feel the electricity in the air when these three are together, but even when it comes down to seeing how their relationship began, seeing how Art Donaldson and Patrick Swayze really began their friendship on the courts, championing each other and just wanting each other to succeed. I thought they fleshed out the relationship between them as friends before they get into the hot stuff with Zendaya, and seeing how that friendship kind of came apart because they were all fighting for the same girl. And I really loved the chemistry between all three of them. There was something about their chemistry that I really liked that I wouldn't blame Tashi if she had chosen both guys, because you know what? Sometimes one isn't just enough. Maybe have a couple more. So they really constructed that chemistry really well. The one thing that I was not really expecting this movie to be was how exotic this movie was, because even though there aren't sex scenes in here and you really don't get to see the full threesome go the full way, I thought this was the horniest movie of the year so far, because even though there aren't a lot of explicit scenes in here, the scenes that we do get, I'm not gonna lie, my Doom Part 2 popcorn bucket was working overtime for this movie, because the way that Luca Guadagnino, I do apologize if I butcher the name, I tried so hard to get it right, but I probably did butcher the name, so I do apologize. But the way that he constructed these romantic scenes, if you will, I thought was working for me, and I never really found the fascination with tennis, and I don't know why. I remember playing it in middle school, but that was a couple of times here and there after school, trying to learn how to play tennis. Didn't really work out for me so well, but I never realized why I never really found tennis to be an exciting sport. And really, this movie highlighted the reason why tennis is the most boring sports to watch, because you're just watching a ball go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, that I feel like if you screamed or shouted while the players are just hitting the balls with their racket, then you would probably fuck something up, and those players would not just slam their tennis rackets on the ground, but they would probably beat you over the head with it if you ruined their one shot at victory. So that was my realization with this movie as to why I never found tennis to be a fun and exciting sport. But boy, did they make me want to watch tennis now, because this movie was really, really, you could feel the electricity not only on the screen, but you could feel some kind of way in your seat. There were probably some adjusting that was needed throughout the entire movie, because this is, even though this movie is sold as a Zendaya threesome movie, and I know a lot of people are probably expecting a lot of exotic scenes in here and wanting for those to go a little bit further, things that you can see online that I'm not going to say on here because I am a son of God. But I really love the way that they constructed those scenes, and yeah, it was pretty spicy for me. I came out going, you know what? I might just have to go watch this movie again. But if you're somebody that is looking forward to this movie being a full out corn fest, then you're probably going to come out really disappointed, because this is more of a slow burn type of artsy movie. There are moments here and there where it does slow down for me a little bit, but I am a simple man. I love Zendaya, I love drama, and I love threesomes. And that's exactly what I got in this movie, even though there's just one threesome. Plus, the cinematography for this movie I thought was beautifully shot, especially during some of the tennis sequences, even though they use a lot of CGI. Give it up for the score for this movie because they elevated the tennis sequences in here. I thought the way that they were filmed, the way they were shot. I am a big fan of Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. You can definitely tell that this was scored by them because it has their signature touch. Some of the things that I thought could have done a little bit better was I kind of wish that there was a little bit more of character manipulation when it came down to Zendaya's character, because you get that a little bit as we flash back to the past, seeing how the relationship began. You can kind of see a little bit more of that character manipulation in there. I just wanted a little bit more because she is just obsessed with tennis. And so I wanted a little bit more of that. But for me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of that type of storytelling. So whenever we were flashing back to the past, to the present earlier that week, it lost me a little bit, but I was still enjoying my time because I really loved the drama between the three characters. There are some moments here and there where Zendaya is overcooking it a little bit, but overall, I came out really enjoying this movie for what this movie was. I might appreciate it a little bit more on a second watch, but overall, I'm going to go ahead and give Challengers an 8 out of 10. Definitely one of the horniest and sexiest movies that I've seen this year and in quite a while. But it's definitely worth a watch. If you haven't had the chance to check it out just yet, go ahead and check it out in theaters. But just know that you might be coming out with a range of emotions. But those are my thoughts on Challengers. Have you guys checked it out? Are you planning on checking it out? Go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments below and let me know. Are you a big fan of tennis?